All right, man. Peace, peace, peace. Times 3 to that 6. All praise to that 9, man. Vibrations is high. Vibrations is up. Spirits is good. Only thing I ain't really feeling too much is this weather. You know, they know that though. Not enough sun out this mug. It was snowing when I got up. It was sunny after that, and it's raining now. So the weather been all over the place. It is what it is though. But I definitely got something that been weighing heavy on me for a little while. And this is something that needs to be dialogued out, worked out collectively, individually, cycle by cycle, you know. Because it's something that, again, there's certain concepts that trip individuals up more than others, myself included. Because y'all know that's why I be saying anything I'm bringing to y'all, where you think it started from? It started with self. You know what I'm saying? So again, bro, we in this shit together. And when I tell y'all things, man, I'm talking to myself as well. So with that being said, this whole thing of and I've touched on this in a couple of my previous videos, right? Being able to self-lead. But I want to talk a little bit about the magnitude of that right now, man, and the significance of that. And I'm gonna just start it with this, man. Because we gotta be studious about this thing here. We gotta study the past, man. You know what I mean? Like, and that's one thing that we have discovered, right? To know where you headed, you gotta know where you been, bro. If we don't know where we been, the ups and downs, the ins and outs of how we got here, bro, you bound to repeat the same things all over again. You bound to not overstand traps when you see them, because you didn't recognize that was a trap from the past. So you didn't recognize a lot of these answers in the future lie in the past. Just go through the past and you'll see it. And one of the things that I'm saying now is with this leadership thing, man, looking to be led by anyone, whether it be a pastor, a husband, a wife, one of the people in the spiritual community, your boss, your older brother, whoever it is, man. If you cannot self-lead, you bound to self-destruct. Because first of all, anybody who follows can be misled. You don't ever want to put yourself in that situation. But the bigger thing it is on a cosmic level, the lesson that we have, that's been pushed on us, that we ain't truly been getting modern day, we haven't been supposed to been going up under no leaders. And that's even for the best leaders that we've had, from the Malcolms to the Martins to the Marcuses. It was never supposed to be up to one individual. And the fact that we continuously let it be up to one or a handful of individuals, Huey, Bobby, you know what I'm saying, Stokely Carmichael, when we left the power plays up to one or a handful of individuals, and wondered why things went the way they went for the collective. Because everybody was waiting on one word. Everybody was moving under an umbrella instead of as the umbrella. There's a huge difference with that. Everyone was moving under the umbrella instead of as the umbrella. And even with an umbrella, what does an umbrella do? It protects what's standing under it from getting wet. So if we all move as the protection, as the same infrastructure, instead of moving as the thing that stops this one leader from getting wet, we can't. Because if they knock him off, if they take the head off of this righteous snake, then the righteous snake dies. And that's what people have yet to understand. So that's why even with me, when I came into this thing, I never came to this thing looking for followers. I never came to this thing looking for students, and I also never came claiming to be a teacher. I never came in this thing claiming to be a teacher, claiming to have a certain level of knowledge. There's people for certain things, and everybody ain't that. And that's one thing that I've stressed from the beginning. But I knew what my role was, or some of my roles. And one of my things, I'm a gatherer, I'm an organizer. I know how to bring people together, but it was never to bring people together to follow my law. And anyone who rock with me will tell you that I treated everyone as the big I or the little you, whichever one makes you feel more comfortable, but we was all equal. my voice never rang louder than anybody's. You know what I'm saying? I always, and that's part of the reason why certain things didn't get done, because if we didn't make the decision as a collective, then it just wasn't going to happen, because it wasn't about what I wanted to do individually, what one individual wanted to do. It's not a dictatorship, and it's not a leadership in that kind of sense. What I wanted was to find the righteous brothers and sisters out there who can lead, because everyone's going to take a turn with this thing. And again, I used to say this to them all, and I still do. I might have my day where I'm red hot. I might not have it the next day. You might have them keys the next day. You might not have them the third day. Such and such gonna have them the third day. But that's who we are, and that's how we work, and that's how we shine. You understand what I'm saying? But certain individuals don't even that concept. Certain individuals feel like they need to lead, and certain individuals feel like they need to be led. They don't understand that there's a time to be a leader and there's a time to be a follower. You understand what I'm saying? Everybody not meant to just play that spearheaded role like that, and everybody ain't meant to take the back seat all the time. You know what I'm saying? Because we all got greatness within us, but that's when it's up to that person to tap into self. That's all a part of leading self. Find out who you are and to be the best version of you, your highest potential. Because it's already there. That's what they call untapped potential. It's already there. It's already within you. You just got to find it and pull it out. You might be able to run 30 miles an hour, but if you don't never get up and go sprint, you'll never find that out. So some people never even test their abilities to find out what they can do. Like me, that's what I mean. I know what some of my abilities are, and I always have. But since I've came into my spirituality and grasp it by the horns more, it's a different type of effect. I was just on the phone with my brother last week. He telling me how he probably gonna see this is gonna be the same thing. Telling me how he watched my words and they changed something for him, and he's giving me credit that I'm explaining to him. You can't give me certain credit. Because just like, because he would say, you think people don't see what I see and feel what I feel? And I'm like, yeah, of course, right? But the thing about it is this. You did the work, though. I could talk until I'm blue in the face about whatever. But unless you actually apply it, it don't matter what I say. Same thing with me. I heard a bunch of people say a bunch of different things. But until I actually applied certain things to my life, it didn't matter what they said. So, of course, I always accredit people for the game, but I know the work that I had to put in to get myself here, because there's millions of people who don't put that work in. They talk a lot, and then that's when it becomes like a religious thing. We need something to believe in, something to make us feel good. But there's no way we could acquire all of this feel-good information and not apply it to life. And then if it is getting applied to life the correct way, you will see the changes. You'll see the results. You understand what I'm saying? So that was just my thing with this thing here is we came back here to figure this thing out, to figure out who we were. It wasn't going to be an overnight type of thing, or as soon as we came back, we were just supposed to remember, or like, if we didn't figure it out in a matter of a certain time, then the mission is up. No, but it's once you remember that you're supposed to remember certain things, and you're supposed to find out who you are and find out that you actually do have a role to play here on the planet, and it's not just get up, go to work, get up, go to work, get up, go to work. There's actual things to life, and that's what I mean. So the things that I felt within me were wanting to help the people, were wanting to bring my people together, were wanting to be a righteous individual for certain causes. All of these things, I slowly found out how to start doing them. And then that's what y'all end up knowing me for. The people who don't know me in person, the people who met me on the spiritual, tribal aspect, you know what I'm saying, on that type of time. And that's how y'all met me with the whole campaign and everything. And y'all know that ain't no joke to me. You understand what I'm saying? Y'all know this shit was real, and y'all even seen how I rock with y'all, what's the word? How I treated that situation with you guys to this day. You know what I'm saying? Like there was a lot of things over the time, and sometimes I think about it, I'm like, maybe I should have spoken on this, and maybe I should have been more open about certain things. But again, I never even wanted myself to look like I was dictating this thing here, because we're a bunch of primordial beings coming together as one. So even that, there's gonna be a little bit of things that's it's gonna take some figuring out of some shit. My thing was, as long as we stay tapped into self, everything will be figured out, because that's the key. You know what I'm saying? As within, so without. So we'll figure out how to deal with each other in this realm, in the physical, as long as we keep everything straight within us. We're going to be drawn to who we need to be around. We're going to be pushed away from people who we don't need to be around. When the love is real, you'll learn how to work with an individual. You'll want to take the time to build with an individual, to understand an individual. You understand? Or when you hear something, you might go talk to that individual instead of just writing them off, or start making up your own assumptions, things like that. You know what I'm saying? These are how real bonds are built, how real relationships are formed. You know what I'm saying? So even that, in that aspect, it took a different level of work. But all of this goes into what I'm saying. If you don't have your mind made up, and even knowing that's how you want to live your life, how you want to dedicate your energy to certain individuals because of whatever reasoning that you find on the back end of that. I know why I'm doing everything that I do. But if other individuals don't know why they doing what they doing, or it just sounds good, or they just found a concept that they fell in love with, then that's when these things become problematic, because that's what I mean. Because you never know which way to go for real. That's how you end up stagnant. And you don't know who to listen to because you're looking for someone to listen to because you ain't found out how to tap into self. So you need someone on the outside that you feel like is saying something that you need to hear, so you got direction to go. And you'll forever be lost that way. You know what I'm saying? You'll forever be lost that way. And that's kind of the concept that I wish our people would get. We were a lot stronger in the civil rights era when we had a lot less resources, financially and everything, educational. We were a lot stronger as a community, right? But guess what? Once the symbols of strength got taken away, the individuals, the Marcus, the Panthers, the Huey, it started with individuals. Once those one individuals got taken off the board, the rest of the people didn't know which way to go because they didn't have no leadership. They couldn't lead. That's a problem. They were all being led by a handful of individuals. And when them handful of individuals got removed out the picture, the masses didn't know which way to go. That's a problem. That thousands of black people couldn't figure it out after they took out a couple of leaders. They shouldn't be that way. Now, again, I recognize everybody is not meant to lead, but that's the problem. We keep making this thing a hierarchy. There is no hierarchy. When you realize that everybody possesses the same greatness within them. You say things like, I am you and you are me, but what that really mean for real? There's nothing that I'm capable of that you're not capable of. If you capable of it and I don't know how to do it, it's up to me to figure it out. So let's just say we in the weight room. You bench 215. I bench 155. I'm like, damn, he on that too. I gotta put more weight on this joint. Maybe I need to stretch more before I get in here. Maybe I need to hydrate more. Maybe I need to eat a little bit more. Whatever it is, I need to start stepping up my game and making some changes and applying a certain level of work to get to that 215. Because clear, I can do it. I see him doing that 215. We got the same bones, same muscles. Some things might work a little bit differently, but I see he just showed me it's possible. How can I make that a possibility for myself? How can I get to that 215? So I can eventually get to 230. So I can get to 245. So I can get to 300. And then you're going to look back and, damn, you remember when I used to only just be able to do 155 out this mug? And do you remember? But then, yeah, I started doing push-ups in between my sets. And then I started doing push-ups even after the gym when I got home. And I know that was helping because I was waking up the next day feeling still all of that. And then you figure shit out. But that we have to start implementing the same practice with the spirituality. Even when you might feel like you hit roadblocks, you couldn't do 215. Now you could do 215 for 20 reps. Now it's time to step it up. You know what I'm saying? So things like that, you know what I mean? And just really tapping into self and even when you don't know the answer, knowing how to find the answer, knowing how to tap into self, knowing how to tap into them elements, and even trusted reflections. Everything goes hand in hand with each other, and that's what it comes to being in tandem and being connected to the connections, connected to the reflections, connected to the elements and the planets, bro. But there's a way for everybody to get there in their own right. There's a way for everybody to have their higher self talk to them and lead them right. Every every day, every cycle of every second of every cycle, bro. It's possible. You as the individual just have to find out how to unlock that within yourself. You know what I'm saying? And you'll too have every key that you need. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's just one thing that been weighing on me. So you see, I wanted to come say that, man. Because it's important. It's real important. And that's part of the reason why I've been making less and less videos, because I started people were looking at me for things I didn't need them looking at me for. And this is what all the most humility that I could possibly come with. This is what it is. But again, I don't play with stuff like that. I don't play with people, and I don't need my head gassed up. I don't need my ego stroked unnecessarily or I'm just here to do my job, man. That's why I be trying to say, bro, I'm just here to do what I came to do, and I'm here to work with the individuals who know who they are and who came down here to do their work. So that's why I'm with it. If anyone, people who, I don't want to, that's a different story for a different time, but y'all kind of get what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to be one of them social media personalities, bro. Like, that's not me. I don't have time for that. Like, even the things that they do, I don't play around like that. You see, like, I'm just always be who I am, walk around in my energies, whatever I'm feeling, that's what I'm tapping into. Whatever we doing, that's what we doing. But even that, I stopped even broadcasting so much of that because I'm not making it, this ain't a TV show. I was having real, genuine connections with individuals. And the second that shit turned into something else, I'm not with it. I'm not about to be played with, and I'm not about to play with people. I don't have time for that shit. So all of these niggas who be leeching off the spiritual community, trying to sell, I don't be trying to sell niggas nothing, bro. And I have stuff for sale. And I do more promoting of other people than anything. You understand what I'm saying? Like, people with businesses, all kind of, like I promote far more. A lot of motherfuckers don't even know I sell stuff. They don't even know I have a website. And that's something that I have to get on my own ass about, but that's not what's in my mind right now. It's trying to pump shit down. And I don't even want to say it like that, but with everybody doing it, I'm like, bro, you know what? Let me just, what's most important to me right now is helping the individuals and the elements and the vibratory pockets that need help, because there's different factions with me, see? It's not just the homelessness, you know what I'm saying? I feel a different way about a lot of different things, and I've been saying this for a while. I'm just to the point now to where I'm figuring out how I can make real changes. That's what I'm saying. I'll go crazy if I sit here and just think about all this shit all day long. If I just talk about it all day long, I can't do it. But I'm even careful about what I say now, and that's for different reasons. Some motherfuckers be out there doing some underhanded stuff, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't with that. But what I'm saying is it's just being the example that you want to see. Being the change that you want to see. Knowing there's problems and finding the solutions, and then doing everything in your power to become part of that solution. It's not impossible. You know what I mean? But talking about it would never be the end all be all of it. But it takes a tapping in and the unlocking of power to be able to produce the work that you desire to produce, is basically all I'm trying to say. Like, we all have great things that we want to accomplish, but sometimes they're so great that just sitting down in a practical mind ain't enough. You really got to dig deep. And it might look different for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Some people you might need to meditate. Some people you might need to write it down. You know, that's one thing. But I do all of the above. I meditate on it. I write these things down. I talk to people. I come up with different plans. I affirm. There's all kinds of different things that I do to make it come together. But I had to put in the work. Get out here. Figure out how you can make things happen. You know what I'm saying? Talk to people. Make calls. Research shit. You know what I mean? Like, but just don't just sit there with a bunch of ideas in your head and all of that kind of shit, because it'll never get done. But again, you know, I do this a lot. We 19 minutes in now, so I don't want to make the video too long and get to going too crazy. But this is just something that I feel like is very slept on. As I said, man, the concept of individuals being able to tap into their self-lead. And that's what I mean. You don't even have to be quote unquote involved in a spiritual journey. You know, everybody's life, to me, that's what I mean. Everybody's living a spiritual journey, whether they call it that or like your just existence. You're a spiritual being. Every day out in life is a journey. So just figuring, you know, so, but you know, it's levels for different people. But like I said, man, if you're a person who can't make a decision without talking to your moms, if you're a person who can't make a decision without talking to your dad or your brother or your sister or your girlfriend, or if you can't never make no decisions in life on your own in good conscience and be confident with self, then that's what I mean. Then you got something to think about. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. You know what I mean? But these are, especially these days and these times and these days, a lot of people is confused. So going to people who don't know who they are or don't know what the hell they talking about, we don't have time for that no more. You better off going with your own self. You know what I'm saying? Even if you felt like you might not know that, mom, like, who know about you better than you? That's my point. Like, ain't nobody gonna know what you need more than you most times, you know? But that's all I'm saying, man. But that's my piece for the day, man. It's all about self-leading, man. You know what I mean? There's definitely individuals out here who we can learn from, who can offer us great advice, who can point us in great directions, who can help us through very dark times. You know what I'm saying? But ultimately, you should be able to hold counsel with yourself. Because if someone isn't there, then what are you, just asked out? You just don't know what to do? You know what I mean? So that's it, man. I like to know that, you know, people can take care of themselves, bro, all the way across the board. Mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, you know what I mean? Holistically. You got to be able to hold yourself down, up rather, you know. But yeah, man, like I said, man, that's my spirit. I'm already getting to, you know, I'm out, man. Peace, man.